One of the reasons that people give for wanting to escape the United States is high cost of housing. I know that was important to Jeremy and me, so I thought you might find it helpful if I gave you a tour of the apartment that we have rented in Plovdiv and tell you what our housing costs are so that you can get a sense of what you would expect to pay if you decide to go this route. Hi, my name is Maureen. In December of 2024, I moved to Plovdiv, Bulgaria with my husband Jeremy and our two tuxedo cats, Damon and Pythias, who are running around here somewhere. They may make an appearance, we'll see. I make videos for expats and wannabe expats so that you can make an informed decision on your own. Let's talk about what was important to Jeremy and me in our housing search, because it's probably going to be different for you. So it's important that you know what our parameters were and what we had to have. So we had 4 must-haves. Okay, number 1, we like having access to city amenities, the restaurants, the shops, the bars, the stores, but I don't want to live on top of them. We also like a very quiet environment, and we have lived in way too many places with partying neighbors and paper thin walls and dogs that bark, and we just know that we can't survive, let alone thrive in a living environment like that. So has to be within a reasonable distance to the stuff we want to get to, but it needs to be quiet. The second thing is, kind of hand in hand with that, we don't have a car. So it's important that we live, no more than 5 to 10 minutes from a bus stop, and maybe no more than 20 to 25 minutes to the heart of the city. And there also has to be a fair amount of walkable amenities within our immediate neighborhood. So that was important to us. Thirdly, I think our spatial needs in our home are probably higher than most couples our age because we still work. We're not retired. We have a US-based business that we still run, and we both need an office to do that. Jeremy needs an office, Maureen needs an office, and of course we need a room to sleep in. So we were looking at a minimum of 3-bedroom houses or apartments, and we also want to use those offices for guest room when our family comes. So that was important to us as well. And then fourthly, we both love to cook. European kitchens, by and large, are much smaller than American kitchens. So we knew that. We knew that was going to be challenging. And then it seems to me that the closer you get to the city center, the smaller the apartments get. Ergo, the smaller the kitchens get. We knew we needed something that was workable for the two of us to be able to both cook in our kitchen. So those were the 4 things. How did we do? Pretty darn well, I think, because all 4 of those boxes got checked. We ended up renting what they call here the floor of a house, which totally threw me. When I first saw that in listings, I thought, what does that mean? Do we speak about quiet now our neighbors are playing music? It is a Saturday afternoon, so we're going to cut them some slack. It's usually very quiet here. But anyway, floor of a house. All that means is it's like a duplex or a triplex in the United States, but they call it the floor of a house here. So we live on the 2nd floor of what we would call a duplex. Our landlords live on the 1st floor. There is a attic storage area above our apartment, and we absolutely love it. We got 3 bedrooms. We got a workable kitchen. It's not the biggest kitchen I've ever had, but it's workable with a few tweaks. They had it as an eat-in kitchen. We took the table out. I'm actually recording on the table now. So it's in our living room, dining area. Then we bought a hutch to put in the kitchen, and with a couple of other tweaks, managed to have enough space to do what we needed to do. Let's see, it only has 1 bathroom. So for the first time in our married life, we're sharing a bathroom. Yeah, that took some concessions. But we're still married, so we managed to work around that. 3 bedrooms, so plenty of office space. It is very quiet, the current noise notwithstanding. And what else? We can walk to the bus stop. It's about 5 minutes. And then within a 10 to 12 minute walk from our home, let's see, there are 2 produce stands, a small grocery store, the ATM is there, There's a dentist office, a beauty salon, a pharmacy, and a pet food store. So most of our needs can be taken up with just walking. And that all works great for us. And seriously, it is very quiet here. The Bulgarians are not partiers like the Ecuadorians were, which is where we lived before here. So that's another video. What we pay for a 3-bed, so we got a 3-bedroom, good-sized kitchen, good-sized living room, a beautiful wraparound balcony that has access here from the living room and another access from our bedroom, which you will see when I give you the tour. And we pay 1,330 Bulgarian lev per month. And that translates at the current exchange rate to $771 a month for our rent. In addition to that, we pay about $15 a month for our internet, about $15 a month for our water, and then we've been paying about $120 US per month for our electricity. Bear in mind that we heat the apartment with electric. We're looking at bills for January, February, March. It's now the end of April, and I haven't gotten our April bill yet, but I expect that amount will go down and then go back up again when we start using the air conditioning in the summer. Let's go take a look, and you can see what you can get at that kind of price point. So let's have a look at what $800 a month, less than actually, can buy you in Plovdiv for a rental apartment. This is our front door. We live on the 2nd floor. The landlords live on the 1st floor. And there's a nice little area out here for small, but for storing hiking poles, mops. We sit down to put our shoes on, that kind of stuff. So come on in. This is our front entry. I'm not a big fan of the open floor concept. Jeremy likes to cook a lot of things, and sometimes they're smelly. So I like the fact that I can be in the living room watching a movie or reading a book, and he can come in and use the kitchen and shut the door, and I don't have to hear him or smell the stuff that he's cooking. So just in general, I like separate areas, and so we really lucked out. I know this is not everyone's favorite, but we really like the idea of the central hallway with everything, with a door leading off that. So to the left, as we enter, that's my mom, is a great unit here for hanging things. We keep our coolers down here at the bottom. There's plenty of room there for jackets and hiking poles, and there's actually shelving in there I have bins in there for various things that don't seem to go anywhere else. And so the first room that you come to on the right-hand side when you enter is the kitchen. And we lucked out with this as well. European kitchens can be much smaller than American kitchens. And some of the apartments we looked at were just absolutely microscopic. This one is workable. It has a built-in oven, 2-burner cooktop, and I went out and bought another portable 2-burner cooktop so I can cook 4 at one time. There's plenty of upper cupboards. And then we bought the microwave to go on top of the countertop. And we also bought, so we do have it's a decent size fridge and freezer. It's a decent size for European standards. It's probably small for American standards. So I went out and bought an additional small freezer, which holds the overflow and also gives me another area to put things on when I'm cooking. We also went out and purchased this hutch, which holds all my jars, my spices, my fruits, and then down below is all my baking goods and sugars and flours. And then up top, it holds all the rest of my small kitchen appliances that didn't fit in the cupboards. So they actually had the dining room table here, or the kitchen table. We've moved that into the living room, which you'll see in a minute. And off of the kitchen is a little balcony. Sometimes I work out here. It's beautiful. Today's a gorgeous spring day, and our neighbors have a very large garden, as do our landlords. And so it's just a pleasure to sit out here on this little balcony and have my cup of tea and do my work. Okay, let's go down the hall. Second room on the right is our third bedroom. It's our guest room. It's also where I work when I'm not working outside. I gave up my desktop computer when I moved to Bulgaria. I don't really need it for my business. So I bought a MacBook Pro, which is sitting there on the bed, and I actually do literally work on my laptop on my lap. This is where I sometimes work. I pretty much drag it all over the house. Our artwork throughout the house is just a collection of things I've picked up as we've traveled. Those are some prints I bought in Ireland. We have other things throughout the house that have been important to me, but basically all of our decor is from places that we have visited, or it's family pictures. This is the living room, dining room. The cats are here waiting for us to come in. And yes, we traveled with 2 cats, which I can make a separate video about. So this is the table that was in the kitchen. We moved it in here. And then at this end of the room, of course, each cat has their own chair because, you know, who doesn't have chairs for their cats? And this is some artwork that I picked up in Spain, 15 years ago. And took forever to get it framed, but I finally did. TV. So the landlord provided the TV. Most apartments here come as furnished, which was fine because we came from the US and didn't bring a lot of furnishings or any furnishings with us. By furnished, it generally means pots, pans, glasses, dishes, linens, sheets, all that stuff. This place did not come with all of that because they had a family member living here, and when they moved out, they took everything with them. We were absolutely fine with that because we wanted our own things. What we kept from the landlord was just the basic, the kitchen appliances, the washer, obviously the stove is built in, the refrigerator. They did supply us with a TV, but the stand that it's sitting on, we purchased. The 2 couches here in the living room came with the apartment, as did the coffee table. And those actually work for us, so we hung out of them. The landlord was extremely gracious in removing things that we didn't want. There's some of our artwork from Ecuador. And they have an attic up on the 3rd floor, and they were just so gracious about anything that we didn't want. We had them store most of what was here, but we kept some of the basics. Bulgarian apartments, probably all throughout Europe, don't have built-in closets. So they all come with these wardrobes in different sizes. And those really come in handy for storage because we don't have a storage unit or anything, a basement or anything else. Okay, how did I end up back in this room when you've already seen this room? I don't know. Let's go down the hall. You go up 3 stairs here, and at the back of the house are 2 more bedrooms and the bathroom. So we only have 1 bathroom, which was a bit of an adjustment. We've always had 2, but we do okay. The bathroom is here. It's got a large shower. Not much more you can say about the bathroom. It's big enough and it's fairly easy to keep clean. Here's the hallway looking back toward the front door. More artwork from Spain. This is our bedroom. I mean, the bedrooms are not huge, but they're functional. And again, comes with the dresser, not the dresser, well, it does come with the dresser, but that's the closet wardrobe, the 2 nightstands, and the dresser, which were all provided by the landlord, as was the bed frame. We bought our own bedding and bought our own mattresses. This is my elliptical, which is mine, all mine. And then there's a lovely wraparound balcony, which I'm going to take you out on. Close the door so kitties don't escape. There we go. It's narrow, but it's long. And this wraps all the way around the back of the house and circles back in through the living room over there. So this balcony has 3 entrances. Here's a shot of the backyard and the view. So you can see that the garden is quite extensive. And then if you go back to where we came out onto this balcony, there's the Rhodope Mountains. Let me show you the Rhodope Mountains. If you go back around this way, the primary bedroom is on the right. And then this is the last bedroom. And it is Jeremy's office, which also has a bed because Jeremy likes a good nap. And he works in here. He kept his desktop computer. But as you can see, the bedrooms are all fairly large. They all have these gorgeous large windows, and they all have beautiful views. We pay 1,330 leva, Bulgarian leva per month, which at the current exchange rate is $778. And then we pay our utilities on top of that, which range, it's April now, and we haven't paid a bill that's been no heat. It's been January, February, March bills, and those have been for internet, electricity, water, probably about $150. That's our home, and if you have any questions about finding an apartment in Bulgaria, we certainly refer you to the person we used, and happy to answer any questions that you have.